legislation buried for the cost of billion-dollar backroom deals that profit from our loss. What good is tomorrow if born to die in waste? Is trust just an illusion? Is a promise a mistake? And as sure as the sun shines, as sure as the grass grows and the rivers flow, I'll be there beside you, pulsing through your veins. You'll feel my heart, you know. Time has come to recognize deceptions of the past, seek truth and stand together at last. Sure as the sun, sure as the trees, and the rivers flow free, I'll be there, I'll be there, you can count on me. I'll be with you when we stand together at last. As sure as the sun shines, as sure.
Well, well. I'm on tonight for Vince Easley. He's going to be joining me very shortly with What Matters Worldwide. So, this is Chuck Ocelli. I'm the guy who does the Ocelli Effect on Saturday nights here on UCY. Anyways, waiting on Vince to join me here. I don't know what we're exactly going to do, but everybody knows that we're taking care of this while Vince is out on his little camping excursion. And that's the way we're going to handle it. So hopefully Vince will be joining me shortly. If you guys want to give us a call, let's see. You guys know the UCY number. And we are, I'm just checking a few things out here. I actually do have the chat in front of me tonight, which is a rarity. So I wanted to try and help out that way. Hope everything sounds all right, because I'm using a mic I usually don't use, so that I didn't overdrive and totally kill Vince's sound when he comes in on his cell phone. So let's see what's going on here. Anyways, that's too bad about Justin there, but I really wish him well. Awesome show he was doing, and I got to say that sometimes we got to make decisions about these kind of things. I mean, not too long ago, I was not too long ago, I was confronted with immediately right out of the gate when I was coming on to do this. I was trying to, here we go. Hey, Vince, how you doing?
Chuck, we got you?
Yeah, but it looks like we're all good here, brother.
Awesome. So we're live right now?
Yep, we are live, and you sound pretty good. I think I got us balanced okay. I might be a little louder than you, but I think you're all right.
Awesome. So I'm on now with Chuck Ocelli with the Ocelli Effect, and broadcast on Saturday right here on UCY.tv. Big shout out to Phyllis Sinclair. Thank you so much for At Last. Unfortunately, we're going to have to change that. I hate that. It's coming up, though. When I get back, I have a new intro. YouTube keeps pinging her with some copyright infringement. Well, we're gonna roll along here in a little bit. We're gonna talk about some things. I've got some guests out here in the desert at Quartzsite, Arizona, and there was actually quartz laying on the ground. They're bearing gold, possibly. I don't know, but
what kind of quartz are we talking about?
Well, there's rose quartz, regular quartz, milky quartz, and quartz, and quartz.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is Cody. He's standing by with me right now. What was some other stuff we find here?
Just turquoise, chalcedony, malachite, they all kind of blend together. But tourmaline, yeah. We found some silver the other day. And wherever there's quartz, there's tons of other minerals too.
Awesome.
Lots of rocks. If you're into that.
There are rocks everywhere. I'm a rock hound, been for some time. So, anyways, let me start out and welcome everybody that's listening. Becky, I'm expecting your call. Jose's going to join us in the second hour. James, I hope you're going to be calling in, and others. Everybody's listening. Oh, thank you so much for Justin. Just in time. He's going to be passing it on for a little while. He's got some other things he's got to do. He's been preceding What Matters Worldwide for some time now, and a great guy and some super fantastic information he's been sharing along, and just a great conversation. I love your brother, man. I hope you'll come back soon. Well, let me just say, I got here Tuesday morning about 5 o'clock. It's still dark. A buddy of mine going down to El Centro, he gave me a ride down here, so I threw all my stuff out, and it was still dark. As daylight broke, I set camp, I pitched my tent, and a little later that day I found out I was on a permitted place that required a fee for a 6-month fee of $180 and a possibility of a $1,500 fine. So I decided to go ahead and move. I'm looking up the sky. The sun's going down over there. There is a fantastic, it's just so awesome. Last night a fella came in before dark and set up a telescope, and we looked at some constellations, some different objects in the sky like Saturn, and other things, and he had great testimony about his aspects, his views of life. So that was pretty neat. His name is Robert. Hello, Robert. I hope you'll catch us downstream. I doubt you're listening now. But, so, about getting out here in the desert, I think it's important to make yourself uncomfortable with normality. So what happens, your life is grand right now, and what happens tomorrow if you lose your job? Most people have like these big payments, their mortgage, car payment, and all that. So if you had to bug out, and if you had to leave your home, you no longer have funds and abilities and so forth, and I think it's important that a person be able to lay themselves on the ground. And I have pictures coming, video coming to YouTube, and pictures to Facebook. I built a rocket stove. I've got that already uploaded. I was able to jump in. I went into town and was able to jump in there to Facebook and say howdy. And thanks for everybody posting to my timeline. Appreciate it. And anyways, let's talk about being uncomfortable. So I've got me a tent out here. It's a 4-man. My last trip out, I had a 2-man tent, and you're not able to stand up all the way in it. So the 4-man tent, you're able to stand upright, and it has like the screening on top, which gives a great view to the stars at night. I love it. I'm looking at the sky out here. Okay, I was a little bugged out, a little further than I am now, which I'm at the entrance now at one 14-day campsite on BLM land. So I'm as closest to the road as I can be, and the interstate's right over here. I'm going to move a little farther later, but it was just too comfortable right here to lay in and get set up. So my adventures have only just begun. I want to do a little collecting of some rock samples, and there's a old mine over here. It's an open pit mine, a gold mine, and it's about a quarter mile from where I'm at right now. I haven't made it over there yet. So, like I said, I've set in. Got a lot more to investigate, more pictures to take and video. I love it. I'm out here in the wilds. Let's call it that. Maybe 100 yards from there or something. But, in fact, I am making myself uncomfortable purposely because it gives me a greater appreciation when I come back to civilization. Is that a good word? Hey, we got David and Cody over here conversing, and look, hey, let me get a backstory, and guys, let's start with Cody, man. He's shy, so we'll pass on Cody. He's a hippie like me. He's a young cat. Let's go with David, man. This dude, he's out here on a bicycle, man. He's put a lot of miles. He puts maybe about 20 miles a day on, just pedaling back and forth between here in town and roundabout. What are you doing out here, bud?
I'm looking for Mayberry.
It's in North Carolina. Cody.
I'll be
What are
moving
you
to
doing,
North
bud?
Carolina soon.
Not quite sure. Just trying to be mostly.
Trying to be, and ain't that what we're all trying to do? That's trying to be. So Mayberry's not here, but
Oh, Mayberry is a state of mind.
there you
It's not
go.
a place.
Exactly.
And when I find it, I'll know it.
Right.
It's not a place, not like Andy Griffith, but that kind of place.
It is a
And
state of
I'll
mind.
know when I get there.
Right. How old are you?
57.
Wow. I'll be 50 this year. How old are you, Cody?
23.
Whoa! Dude, that's like more than half my age.
A youngin'.
Son, right?
Well, no. But
Don't look anything like
you're my brother. That's a fact. I bet you both these fellows right here in front of me, we probably share so many similarities in life that age and geography has no bearing. And I'll bet you we probably, more than likely, will have some disagreement, some point of contention about what is or what matters. But the fact is, there is something that matters to each and every one of us, and that's the point of this program that I have going right now through UCY.TV. Big shout out. This couldn't be possible without Jules. She's built this up, and she's given us all airtime to have a voice. And that's the precept that I have here. It says, what matters worldwide, connecting voices and broadcasting what matters worldwide. Because you do indeed see why. If you're listening now, listening downstream, I think all of us would like to add something better to this world. And that's my point of contention. And
Absolutely.
that we can add something better. Right, Chuck?
Absolutely, Vince. You know, I was just sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, because I got a piece of rosy quartz around my neck, actually, and I was just thinking, one thing that you missed in that whole description there, and I'm curious because sometimes when I go out into nature, whether it's in the woods or if I go down to a shoreline or something and just try and be, just try and experience what's there, the disconnect from being, overlapping all these electromagnetic things that are overlapping, all these internet signals and TVs and all this stuff. When you get out there, though, aren't you feeling like kind of a looseness to you that you don't normally get?
You know what? That's part of the point of my trip right here is to disconnect and to get to the ground. Not only that to disconnect from the social media. I've kind of tied myself in fact, made myself a slave to what I'm doing. So right now, I think it's really important just to get out here, get on the ground, disconnect from what most of us that are listening now will consider our main stay in life, and that's our social media. But what I'm doing is getting away, okay? And how can I say it? It's just
yeah. Well, what I meant
Go
was,
ahead.
if you're cleaning out, you know what I mean, when you kind of like just let go of all that tension. I mean, that's got to feel real good. I haven't been able to do it in a while myself. But when you get away from it, I mean, isn't that really the best part of it? Not just, the ground is one thing and the earth is one thing, but the air and just experiencing light that's natural and all that kind of stuff. That's really like the best part of getting out there and doing what you're doing, right?
Absolutely. And to be able to connect with nature, of course, and with people. More and more people are, losing their way in life. The system is spitting them out. Oh, I've got something I wrote too that I'm going to share here in just a little bit. Probably better do it before the light fades. I'm going to go ahead and walk back over here and grab my book so I have it in my hand. I will share this before. No, it's not there. I got to go back into my tent.
Well, it's not a problem. I'll give you a second to do that. The trouble that we have a lot of times is because of the artificial nature of connections between people at this point has really put everything askew as far as the actual interactions between us on a personal level. And I don't mean just, the way that we deal with each other about our big ideas or anything like that, but even in the smallest way, everything is practically come down to an electronic couple of scrambled words that aren't spelled correctly on a text message and stuff like this all the time. And the idea of being able to actually connect with human beings on a for real personal level is definitely almost a lost art among a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that is part of me being here where I am right now. And I'm able to connect, face to face with some people. I've met some people yesterday, some older fellers that are, will into their 70s or beyond. And these cats right here are my age, a little older, a little younger. My camp host has been fantastic. I just really like people. I love people. I like to be able to exchange, like I said, information and ideas. Look, this is something I wrote, a little bit of my perspective on the world. Cody, I want you to especially hear this, so I want to see what you think about this. David, also come up here. I read this to you earlier. It needs some edit. All right, David hears me. He says this needs some edit, and I've got scribbled lines and crossed out. So I will read it as best I have it. It's called The Machine, the Mechanical Beast.
The Mechanical Beast.
The Mechanical Beast.
Okay.
A machine. The Mechanical Beast. And like I said, it needs edit. So I'll go. Where did I start? The Mechanical Beast. It's seemingly self-perpetuation, turning gears and cogs, ever grinding, wearing away every bit of its components. Blood, sweat, and tears grease the wheels. The very life of the earth, its fuel. Chewed finally, or swallowed whole, for the whole appetite is insatiable, gluttonous, like that of the blob. I imagine it started something like that, its first bite an amoeba, then onto a fly. Like the dog into the flea, ad infinitum, it can only continue to consume like a black hole until it implodes.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
I got deep from David. I don't know if everybody will follow. What do you think, Cody?
I think it applies to a certain part of it. I try to stay away from the mechanical machine that pretty much puts everything in the black hole. Not everything.
You've stepped outside of mainstream, right? Mostly, as best you can.
Well, I mean,
we're still slaving away to the dollar, though. I mean, it's a controlling factor, that Federal Reserve note.
Right. It is. I still gotta spend dollars here or there, but it seems the way most money is made, you gotta take it from somebody else. I've kind of just tried to stay away from that aspect of it, and it's due to the generous people and those that see the whole picture that we do get by, and we do get the dollars we need. It's just more about what I put my energy into. You know, what's mainstream and what's not is certainly just a perspective as well. I've been a part of all the different streams, really. Yeah.
I was talking to some older guys here yesterday. No, the day before, I guess. Tuesday, whatever. Okay, Thursday, so it's Tuesday, the day before. And he goes, I guess he's not saying. He goes, look, I paid my dues. You know, what is it I can do to make a difference? You know, in a nutshell, I can't give it in a nutshell because I have to, you know, I guess preempt my answer with several questions and so on. But look, the very fact that he said I earned, okay, being that the system that it is established that we all have to add to. We've got to give our blood, sweat, and tears. We've got to you know, bleed for this, and they suck the life of the earth for this. This isn't the way things should be. I mean, there's so much more beyond what the way the world is right now. We have technology that's been suppressed from Tesla that we can, you know, pull our energy needs from the actual magnetic fields of the earth. So the petrochemical world of today, they you know, what? It's not $5 here yet. They've been predicting $5 a gallon for gasoline right now. What's crazier than that is water. Oh, take a drink, brother. Out of the bottle. There it goes. That stuff is more than gasoline, less processing involved. So, and plastic. Yeah, that comes from petroleum, right? Dave, this man right here has got a cool setup on his bike. Backpacks on the back, like you know, the old days with the horses. They got the saddlebags over the back and saddlebags over the front tires. Man, this thing, he's pedaling several miles a day just back and forth doing his business in town, and he is questioning himself about his, like I do, my proposed trip ahead of me. Which way and how am I going to make this? He has some questions himself and wondering about which direction he will go. But he's out here in the world.
And I use no gasoline.
No gasoline whatsoever. Eyes bluer than mine. He's got some blue eyes. What color are your eyes, Cody? Hazel, brown. Yeah. I like eyes. Eyes right there, the windows of the soul, and if not, they're at least a reflection of who we are.
Would it make a point?
Yes, sir.
If you can't make a difference, then what's the point?
There you go.
It's as simple as that to me.
Well,
You're going to begin then. I will.
I got to say that, you know, the way that all this stuff is coming down, and yeah, of course, big thank you to Jules and all you guys that listen and all that stuff. I got to say that, you know, it is a really great opportunity to do this and to get this out there. And the fact is that many of us have varying ways that we are examining the world around us, and we're looking at it, and we're all saying the same thing in one way or another, and that is that something is very, very wrong with the system the way it is, and something is very, very wrong with the fact that we are not even given choices about how to enter into that system. You're either in the matrix or you're not. So trying to unplug from it, and the stages that you're talking about here, and the whole idea behind your piece of prose there was all about that system, even beyond the actual physical machinery. There's a machinery, a mechanism that is social, that is actually societal, that has nothing to do with steel and petroleum and all these things. You know, and we're all looking at it and all saying the same thing, and that is that something is very inhuman about the human condition. Something is very inhumane about the human society. Something is very unsocial about that society. And the fact is that we're all coming at it from a different angle because we all have our own places that we were in the world before our eyes started to open and we started to go into a direction. And to be out there on a bicycle and all that kind of stuff, you know, that's a great thing. And if that works for him and if that gets him to where he's got to go, man, I can't do anything but applaud. And, you know, you want to go and get involved with the camping thing and get your ear to the ground, yes, you should listen to the earth and you should hear the wind and you should see the sun and you should feel the sky, you know. And I think it's great, man. So I'm just like sitting back and enjoying this whole thing and listening to. I know it's kind of uncharacteristic for me because usually I'm talking like 100 miles an hour, but I'm still here, just kind of experiencing this with you guys.
You're still like what the third program here on UCY that you've shared with us?
Well, what? How many shows have I done?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only done the 2 so far on UCY.
2 coming up the day after tomorrow, be number 3. I really like your concept. You're exploring some ideas the same way as I. That I'm looking at discussing different topics. Something that I feel myself that is of great importance, and I'm not saying that I'm wrong and you're right, or anybody else. And I really enjoy sharing points that differ from my own. So you're going to be covering some things that let's get back to that. All right, look, I'll tell you what. Are you ready to talk? I'm going to pass this off. I'm going to step away for a minute. I'm going to go grab me a drink. Wait, I'm putting Dave in one ear. Cody's in the other. Somebody grab this phone right here. Don't hit hang up. All right, hold behind you. I lost it on the ground. That was okay. I think we're still going. Don't drop this phone, okay? It's like the whole screen is mashed. Somebody hold this and don't let me knock it on the ground. All right. Let me just step away from the mic and give it to you guys right here. Chuck, are you still hearing us on this end?
I got you still.
Okay, we're awesome. You guys, take the mic. What would you like to say?
Well, I don't know. I think for me personally, a lot of the governmental conspiracies, and they're getting a little tiring, but I agree that the system certainly isn't working the way it was perhaps originally intended to. I know for me personally, I've put a lot of energy into those conspiracies, finding a lot of truth in them, but by putting our energy into them, we're only empowering them and diminishing our own power that we have. So I start with that.
I personally still think it's the best country in the world to live in. I can't imagine living anywhere else, and so much of it I haven't seen. And that's what I'm doing, and I don't worry about the conspiracies. When they catch up to me, so I'll deal with it then.
Cody, you got that gun I gave you, brother? Let's fire it up, man. All right. And this is something that I think is of the greatest importance is hemp cannabis. I've made some broadcast about this. I've actually one of my first essays, if you want to call that. That hemp and cannabis can in fact save the world. It's not a matter of recreation of being able to light this joint that I'm going to do right now. And anybody listening in that
is for consent. Quartzsite, Arizona.
Wait a minute. Fire up. My name's not what he said. Hey, Arizona's a zero tolerance too, by the way. No. I bugged the system. What's wrong? Ain't right. And I think we need to change that. There's a dead bird over there. We're leaving that one alone. I don't want to see this yet. I know David knows. No, he's been cleaning cover for quite some time. Well, clean. Nope to dope. Does drink alcohol and
We have participated in consuming some suds today. But my opinion is alcohol is the worst drug there is, or perhaps that and heroin. But I don't know that marijuana has ever harmed anybody. I did hear a story about, what was it? Somebody got I can't even remember. First death from marijuana. A truck rolled over on them that was calling marijuana or something. That may not be it. Close enough. Excuse me, one inhale. Unlike Bill, I've inhaled and exhaled, and I think it's great. Shout out to Kevin, who joined me last week. Are we talking to me? Chuck, was you saying something?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I was just chilling here.
Back at earphones. I'm passing about two earphones back and forth. Hold on. He's like, pass the joint, buddy. Here's this shit. Okay.
I believe I'm getting a contact buzz here.
They're juggling. It looks like they're juggling the joint and the phone all at the same time and having a little trouble with coordination.
Yeah, but I'm holding the phone now. That's why it hasn't dropped lately.
There we go.
I was the guy. I was like, here, hold this shit and don't drop it. And I go, ooh, I dropped it.
Well, somebody's got to be the designated phone driver, guys, because,
Yeah.
All right. Chuck, Long Kelly Effect, on Saturday night, third broadcast coming up. What is it that you really hope to do? What is it that you want to share with people? What's your point, and what's the aspect that you have that you like to
drop the joint?
Drop the joint.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a foul. So, somebody mark that one down. All right. But, no, my show is so far I've focused on a couple of the conspiracies, and I'm going to focus on some more of those. But that's not what my show is about. My show is about a perspective where, when you begin to remove a lot of the crap from in front of your eyes and you start to unplug your mind, at least, from the programming that has been fed to us all for so long, you see things, in essence, in the world under a different sort of effect. It's like, in other words, your vision becomes altered. And that's really what it's going to be about. And slowly but surely, because I'm only doing the one night right now, I figure I'm going to lay out a few of my positions, where they came from. I've brought on some guests so far because I would rather have people that are focused on this stuff directly in each of their fields. In the future, I've got some other things planned. I mean, we're going to talk about challenging the CIA. We're going to talk about the intelligence network as it has grown around us. We're going to talk about the virtual and the real control grid that technology has laid over us. And I want people to generally become aware of what it is they've been sucked into. I said to someone... Well, I said to someone earlier, it's not even a joke anymore. Skynet is online. And I meant it. The fact is that this is not what it was supposed to be. This is not, they've kind of kept us distracted with a lot of other nonsense instead of allowing us to see the world the way it is. And people are so locked up in garbage, really, that they forgot that there is a reality there. And they're so disconnected from the facts, whether they be the scientific realities around us, exactly what the condition of our planet is, which all of us have a stake in, or whether it's the political system, or any of the surveillance state apparatus or apparatus as they are, all of there you go. All of the weapons of mass distraction that are used to keep us from doing anything productive in a real sense. I really am trying to just unmask that stuff slowly but surely. And in the best way that I know how. I spent a lot of years doing research on just the JFK assassination, and people might think that that's a narrow field. But it didn't leave me in such a narrow field, because in order to just study that, you have to gain expertise in so many different things just to be able to hold coherent and intelligent conversations with people. I mean, for instance, just a quick for instance, I had to gain some sort of medical knowledge in order to discuss, like, say, the entire forensic aspect of the case. And I went straight to the people that were involved there. I talked to the X-ray technicians, and therefore I had to know what I was talking about to be able to question them about the X-rays. And I had to be able to talk to people about physics and ballistics and all this kind of stuff. So slowly but surely I had to study all these different aspects. And when I did that, it led me into other directions. And I started to understand how not only had the intelligence agencies participated in this, but exactly how the tentacles have stretched, grown, and otherwise infested so many other aspects of our lives. And by doing that, whoops. All right, it looks like Vince dropped me there for a second. We're going to bring Vince back on, but as I was saying, we lost, so much of ourselves beginning in November 1963. And the fact is that that's because our country at that point was taken completely out of our hands. And one of the first atrocities that unfolded directly from that was the Vietnam War, which was a criminal act that was basically committed in all of our names. And to me, that was the important part of that. I have a personal connection to that as well because I haven't really gone into this yet on the air except to mention it when I was a guest in other places. But my father was a veteran in Vietnam, and to this day there is no paperwork showing that he was even enlisted in the military. Thus far, I pieced together some of the story, and I know that he was trained as a Special Forces sniper, and there's very, very interesting information there, and at some point I'm going to have to do an entire show on it. But
I think that ties in very well where we're at in this world. Some of the people behind the control system. Okay, America and Americans have an idea of what we represent. The great and the good, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and to be defenders of that. And so many people are sending their sons and daughters. They're going off to fight these wars, and they're bleeding, man. They're like I read earlier. Their blood, their sweat, their tears. I mean, it's all poured into this machine, this terrible beast. And
Vince,
what is the controlling factor behind it? Go ahead, Chuck.
We have a call coming in, so I'm going to grab that. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Looks like you're on the air, caller. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I just got on the air. I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
What were you guys talking about?
Hey, that's Linda. I see her over there. That's across from me. I told her to call in, and this is a listen line. There's no internet out here. So, hey, hi, you. I see you, and that's Russ over there. That is our camp host. Thank y'all. So wait, don't come over here with feedback. You guys come here and listen. That's awesome. Okay.
That's great.
Yeah, it is great. There's some wonderful people. I'm blessed by having met them. Shared some, FaceTime and connecting, and also, I pulled up in here. Like I said, I unloaded my first camp over there. My buddy dropped me off, and it wasn't even light yet. I said, go. Everybody's like, what are you going to do, man? I said, the universe, I just let it happen for me, okay? God, universe, when you...
As I've often said,
for me,
the universe will present me with some options. I'm sure I'll have one or more to select.
That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to let it happen,
Mm-hmm. So, Linda, you still there?
I am.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You know what we're talking about is whatever you want to talk about. What do you got to say?
Well, I think that we are living in a wonderful life. I can't ask for a better life. This is fantastic. The weather's great. The land's great. The food's fantastic. What would you like to talk about?
Everybody treats us with respect around here. I mean, you can't force that happen.
Yeah.
Sounds like I got to go there.
There you go. Okie dokie then.
I'm watching them about 20 feet from me. Oh, what great people. Yeah, I had some bags and sleeping bags, and they provided, hey, would you like to have a cot with some foam? Do I have to choose between the two? So I got both. They also have this canopy that goes up and down, and I'm going to go back in just listen or something.
Okay.
Survival. But anyways, yeah, this is awesome. Without shade, man, you're kind of toast in the desert, right? My first spot, I had set up beside a tree, and this thing come up, and I was in the shade, and it was like nice, and then I think I'm not even burnt yet. You know, I escaped the winter, so I'm really proud about that. And if I don't come out of here with a sunburn, I'll feel like I've cheated the whole deal, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But I've been provide myself and been provided by some shade, and after today, this is going to be a good one of these deals about are you ready? And you know, in life, people should be ready. And I'm going to backtrack a little bit. My first day that morning rolled out. I had my tent set. I had everything, you know, pretty much in place. My rocket stove I built. Look, dude, you ain't seen that yet. I'll show you after a while how it works. Have you heard of rocket stove before? All right, man. That's one I built right there, and stands with it and this and that. So anyways, yeah, I've got some good video. I've got some good pictures, and I'm disconnected from the internet, so that will be something I post later on. I did manage to pop in today and say hello and thank y'all. I will say it again, thank y'all, everybody that's posted to my line over there. And when I get that, I'll a lot more like visual that you'll be able to connect with here. And I'm doing what I hope to do is make a little bit of difference in that. And that's what we all got to hope to do is make a little difference.
So you've got plenty of pictures and video and stuff that you're getting ready to post also as soon as you get to where you can get a steady internet connection, right?
Yeah, that'll be probably next week sometime. There's been some change in plans, and I ain't worried about that because I just let things happen. Some people might say that that's being lazy or not having a plan, but sometimes you got to let things happen. To be ready to react and, you know, accordingly, the right way. And that's what we got to do is try to be and have a positive, force in the world, the universe, whatever. Just, you know, do good, do what's right.
Maintain a positive attitude, but be vigilant. That's the idea behind that, right?
Yeah. Well, this older man. Let me touch on this, and then we're going to go back to where you left off at in 1963. This old man, he says, "Man, I'm out here. Don't I have the right to what I've earned?" And it was a long conversation, but basically, it's you know, is earning really what you've done? You've persevered. You've paid your dues, right? As it said, you know, earned your right. But when you really look into it, it's like, and I'll boil it down quite simply. If you're a new listener, it means that we exist in a slave society. Wait, Linda, don't come over here. We'll see back. Okay. Well, we do. We're no more than slaves to this system. In that, what I wrote and read earlier, kind of is my way of saying it. So, earn. No, you go ahead and listen, dear. Take it. Anybody wants to listen, but we can't be that close. I hear me over there out of her phone.
Logistical
well, I have
problems.
my own speaker.
Oh, there you go.
You're on speaker. You go ahead. Everybody listen. There's a whole bunch of other folks, and we're going to walk over there here, too. Jose, if you're listening, I bet you we're going to run over. We're like already 45 minutes in. Right?
Yeah, it's about 8:45 now.
You're not done. You're going to have you some back in. Because he's trying to stay on. He's like, he hands me the speaker back. We're sharing the speakers here on the phone. My charger, my solar charger, look at this, dude. I didn't see this. This is a solar charger right here. You can get it in through USB right here and charge it, or put this here. Right. Catch your. This will charge this and power the phone in the daytime. Sun's down. It's set right now here in Arizona.
Anybody that wants to join us. Anybody that wants to join us, by the way, you can call 718-717-8296. Jump right in on the conversation. Any which way you want.
Where you at? Awesome. Hey, let's go back in because we're going to talk about where you left off, 1963. There's people that are involved that have been involved. There's people, families, groups, and so forth and so on. And so I won't exactly try to tie it down, but I will throw in some people. George Bush was involved, I think, in some evidence that shows that he was in fact involved in the assassination of JFK.
Well, now some of that stuff
he was the CIA. Go ahead. And look, I'm gonna turn it to you. I'm gonna let you take off right there from 1963. I'm gonna mute up and I'm gonna go here and get me something to drink, and I'll be back in with you.
Well, you go right ahead and get something to drink. We got another caller coming in right now, so let's see who we are. Okay.
Require mute.
You're on. Who are you?
Hi.
Hey.
I was following instructions. I like simple instructions. Good job, man. I fired up with y'all, too. I like what they're doing out there in Legal Land. Yeah.
What are you doing, girl?
I'm in my home Mayberry, too. I'm camping out with you. You don't even know it.
Yeah. Hey, look. It's like almost 10 till, right about towards the end of this hour. Jose's going to be coming in, but look, mute up, listen in, and I told Jose to get a hold of you, and we're going to transition. I told Jose that we probably might roll over on him again, so hey, mute up, listen in, and we're going to bring you back in
y'all
a little bit.
Okay, Vince, listen to me for just a second, okay? I want to be heard just a second because you're doing my thing. I spent years running around with the rocks, and man, I got so much. Needle Mountain, Warner Mountain, crystals. It's just my forte. I've been too sick for too long, and y'all are just talking my language. And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Okay, I will trade rocks with you. Think of me, okay?
I will, girl.
All right. I'm gonna listen in until you know. I'm good. I'm sound, brother. I'm sound.
All right on. Hey, I'm in mute. Chuck, come on, let's pick up back there.
All right, no problem. Back to the Bush thing. What happened, and the reason why this stuff started was because initially he had stated that he was not part of the CIA prior to his being appointed head of the CIA in the 70s. And this was not true because, we found out in an evidentiary sense that this was not true because no less than J. Edgar Hoover himself had a memo which he had sent out explaining that George Bush of the CIA and another individual from the DIA, and this was sent to the State Department's Intelligence Department.
Did you eat all that?
This memo was sent to the State Department's Intelligence Department, and what happened was this proved that Bush...
You're going to be knocked out.
Hang on just a second here.
You can't do that with this kind of medicine.
Well,
I'm
anyway,
sorry.
Not a problem.
I'm sorry.
Not a problem. But what happened was he had been apparently attached to the CIA at that point in time, according to Hoover's own memos. So therefore, a lot of people have drawn a lot of lines since then and have claimed that Bush was in Dallas that day although he was not far from Dallas, he was somewhere else doing a speaking engagement, and we dropped Vince and brought him back up, so I think Vince is back with us. So a lot of this stuff was more interesting for the fact that he was just basically caught lying and tried to say that it was another George Bush from the CIA, because, in fact, there was another guy with the same name. But he had been hired on as something like a file clerk at the time and only had a job temporarily with the agency at the time. So obviously he would not have been the guy that they sent to discuss this with the head of the FBI at the time, or to meet with the agents of the DIA or any of this other stuff. So therefore, Bush's connection to the agency, though, and Bush's proximity to the assassination has caused people to speculate about a lot of stuff. And there was a guy named John Hankey that put out a movie called JFK 2, which has now come on to be, Dark Legacy, I believe, is now what the film has actually evolved to. And it's been edited a few times. It's got a lot of mistakes in it, to be honest with you. And some other people have drawn some interesting lines as far as the Bush family goes and the assassination of Kennedy. But one thing that none of us will probably argue here is the fact that the Bush family is essentially a sort of crime syndicate more than anything else, because of all the, all of the interesting, nasty things that they were involved in, from Iran-Contra on down to, the possible involvement with the Bay of Pigs and all of these other things. I mean, when you start to get your hands dirty with the CIA, and you are involving yourself as a business asset or as any other type of asset with the agency, the old expression where if you lay down with dogs, you're likely to come up with fleas is definitely true. And, they trace this also back to his father, and I'm talking about H.W. Bush's father, and that would be Prescott Bush, who had actually been involved in funding the Nazi regime via the Chase Manhattan Bank, even, or what became the Chase Manhattan Bank. I believe it was Chase, but point is that he had been involved in some of the funding because Fritz Tyson was not capable of funding the entire Nazi war apparatus as it stood at that time. And this is the kind of stuff that I spent a lot of time researching. And a lot of people say, what is the point of all that? Well, the point of all that is that you begin to see these corporate entities, you begin to see these intelligence agencies and these governmental individuals who are supposed to be out there representing, protecting, and doing what's right by, all of us, as in we the people. And in realistic terms, they're not doing that. They're out doing a whole lot of other things, assassinating people, taking over foreign countries, essentially robbing others of their natural resources, and thusly creating a serious mechanism by which a whole lot of individuals in a whole lot of places that you've probably never even heard of have been enslaved in one way or another. And when we talk about the type of slavery that exists in this country and the debt slavery system, tracing that all the way back to the Federal Reserve and all the people who have helped it along all over this time, this is what the point of it is to begin to understand what those shackles are made of, because most people don't even want to acknowledge that we are essentially slaves to that system. And as it's often been said, and maybe a whole lot more coherently than I'm capable of saying it, the fact is that the Federal Reserve System, fractional reserve banking, and all of this kind of stuff is, above all else, one of the most unchallenged, unquestioned forms of faith and faith-based reality, which surrounds us all, and we all work within that system at this point. And meanwhile, it is not a fair system. It is absolutely designed, even in the most simplified terms that I could comprehend. It is designed so that individuals, assets are crushed, and therefore their lives are destroyed. So the fact is that when you have a system which is absolutely designed to make sure that there is the gain some and lose it all, merry-go-round in place, or the game of musical chairs where always someone is guaranteed to be left out. You are definitely looking at, the deck is stacked against you, the table is definitely not straight, and your dealer is dealing from whatever deck he feels like. And that's the way it's been set up. So those who feel as though they can take some control by gaining a bigger piece of that pie, which leads to nothing but misery when you do. And for those who believe that they can venture and gamble in ways they don't understand that often, you're playing with Federal Reserve chips and you're playing with the house's money, but all of the money belongs to the house. All of the assets belong to the house, or if they don't, they will. And this to me is the importance of understanding this stuff. Now, to go back to 63 and why that was important, and that's just my feelings about Bush and sort of off the top of my head what I would say about that. But to go back to 1963 and why that was so important is because due to Kennedy's actions behind the scenes, there was a lot of things behind the scenes. He was doing some serious work that would have at least begun to take some of the power away from the Federal Reserve. He was doing work behind the scene that, in National Security Action Memorandum number 263, he was attempting to withdraw all troops from Vietnam by the end of calendar year 1965. The first 1,000 were supposed to be withdrawn by the end of 63. Now, taking that into account and the amount of damage that war did, the body count that we all understand and that we all agree to is 58,000 American soldiers dead over the course of that incursion. But on top of that, you have anywhere from 1 to 4 million Vietnamese. And when I say Vietnamese, the only reason why I don't say soldier or anything else is because these body counts are not just soldiers. These were civilians in some cases. These were questionable individuals, what they call now insurgents even. There were all types, but either way, 1 to 4 million people. Now, set those numbers aside and just assume that we have the low number. You're talking about 1,058,000, regardless of whose country they came from. First of all, they were human beings. The next problem is how many men and how many families were devastated, destroyed by the fact that these soldiers were put into a place thinking that they were serving their country, thinking that they were serving the greater good, and they were placed in harm's way. They were damaged in one way or another, and that might have been a physical damage. That might have been, a loss of a limb. That might have been the loss of, their lower body. That might have been scars that caused their lives to be altered. That might have been the damage of their minds. That might have been the damage of their spirit due to the fact that they were not handled with any sort of decency by our government, forgetting about the social norms and the guilt complex that came over us socially afterwards due to the fact that there were all these protests and attacks on individuals that were out there trying to do their job. That's not even the point of it. The fact is, though, if you consider that just for a moment at least another million American families at a bare minimum, and I do mean I'm being extremely generous here, had to deal with the devastation of having a damaged family member returned to them. And that damage, again, could have been anywhere from their limbs to their souls. The divorce rate, the amount of abuse, domestic abuse where you had spouses that were, being brutalized by their veteran significant others, the amount of social unrest that was caused by all these men coming back who couldn't hold jobs, who were not handled properly, all this kind of stuff. To me, this is an even further insult to the well-meaning individual who in some cases volunteered and in other cases was drafted to try and defend what they thought was the country that we all once believed in. And as you go on and you sift through this stuff, and I'm sorry that it seems like a long speech, but I think it's all relevant. The fact is that when you truly break down what it did, that is one of the largest crimes that occurred partially in my lifetime. So that is why I think that that is not just some conspiracy theory that I examine as if it's some kind of giant complex game of Clue so I can figure out, whether it was, Colonel whoever that did it with the napalm on the Isle of whatever. That's not the point here. Okay? The point is that they have done this, and we have seen it recur now with the longest stint, I think, in modern history for sure, with our time in Afghanistan, in yet another war that involves, again, putting young men in harm's way, destroying individuals, destroying civilians. The amount of casualties that have been reported is really underreported, first of all. But besides, we are still sending these young men through the shredder in one way or another, whether it be physically or emotionally or psychologically. And to what gain? They are put into combat situations where there is no exit strategy, there is no discernible, achievable objective, and they have had their end of the contract where they have put their bodies and themselves completely into harm's way. And we as a people need to start to stand up and do something to respect that and honor that a whole lot more than we do. So therefore, that is the point I make about that. You have something you want to say?
I'm right on with you with that. My dad, 20 years in the Navy, 3-year vet, Cold War, Vietnam, Korea, sub. There ain't no more honor today. They were screwed. All our families are screwed up because of this war. They had them on speed. It was hell.
Yeah, my father.
We're all suffering from PTSD, and the government did it to us, and to not understand it and be aware of that, But we got to find some kind of peace today. And I don't, I'm right along with you. Thank you for breaking that down. I saw him bashing, I see him bashing, current prez, and I'm like, well, if he would step up for the people, they'd kill him just like they did JFK. What do you think he's doing? He ain't following the money. It's what runs the show. It's simple if you dissect it.
Well, yeah, and the people that, this is the point that a lot of us try to make is that, look, people want to blame Obama, or because of their proclivities, they want to go back and they want to blame Bush, or they want to go back and they want to blame Clinton, or they want to go back and they want to blame, what the bottom line is that these guys are just the puppet show.
Right. Thank you. I needed that reality because I feel like I'm alone in mine most of the time. It says I can't handle that social network when I'm seeing that. Too much stimuli. It's just like, can't you read anymore? It's that simple. We got so much information on our hands. It's like, to me, I'm seeing a social network as being almost a self-destructive thing. They're laughing at them going, ha, the ants are going to self-destruct, and we're going to let them. And I don't know. That's just my perspective of social networking as far as from what I see it. I kind of got hooked up. I got rare cancer. And I found out that hash oil I was making when I was a teenager, you eat that stuff, and my type of cancer, no matter what I do with the foods, I can't live without that oil in me. And, so I always kind of I've been somewhere beside a mountain somewhere most of all my life, living off the land, off the grid. My dad raised me that way once he got out of the Navy. And, I kind of got sucked into a activist scene, and I do not believe in the legalization of something that was rightfully mine to begin with. It is another scam. It's no different than, Reefer Madness. They watching that stuff on TV. They letting Sanjay tell them what's up. It's already a setup, I got sucked into some stuff, and I'm shaking it off, and, I did not know the world was like this, because I guess I was sheltered from it. I didn't understand. I thought everybody had the right to, my dad believed in the American right and the freedom to be, everybody thinks I'm going to get busted. What have I done wrong? I'm medicating my body how I choose, with what's grown from the ground. I don't tell, Becky. I don't do nothing wrong. I can't live in that kind of reality.
Exactly. That's the whole point right there. And this can go back to another subject I did cover, and that's talking about the allopathic and the homeopathic methods, and where modern medicine, the petrochemical industry, have isolated some compounds and then patent it and so forth and so on, and how the industry changed or became an industry, I should say, and that is quick addressing the problem of what's causing the symptom, and as opposed to
if we all personally step out, how can they get us? I stepped out. I do different. I can't get out there. Got pretty down with cancer, came back because I got snatched up off the street, and they conformed me and detoxed me off of everything natural. But I'm back again. I can't take my spirit, no matter what they do.
Right.
And
got another caller also, by the way.
All right.
This is probably Jose. But let me say, hey, we fired up a doobie here a while ago on air, and smoking pot don't cure you, okay? But there is the components, and it's not being isolated by the pharmaceuticals to produce cures. But what will come about, because we see this legalization, like you said, how can you legalize something that's a plant in the ground or whatever? But beyond the fact of what hemp can do, replacing the petrochemical industry and fiber, everything, oils, the oils out of it, the plastics can be made. Everything's not, made from it is biodegradable, non-harmful. The generator shut down next to me.
I do all kinds of things for my cancer, man. I was sticking coffee enemas up my ass. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it all.
Whoa, wait.
Is 804 there, by the way?
All right, Garrison therapy.
Is 804 area code there, by the way, or you there?
Where is Jose?
Yeah, bring him in.
I'm here.
That's you, Jose?
That ain't Jose.
No.
This is
Who we
Mark.
got? 804.
This is Mark.
Okay, Mark, what do you got
Hey,
to say?
Mark. Oh, that's my buddy Mark, man. Glad you could call.
Hey, Vince.
Good to talk to you, brother.
Hey, it's great to talk to you as well. This is what I want to talk about. PIA. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of PIA before. I think they have something to do with animals being abused.
Yeah.
People for the ethical treatment of animals, PETA?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? This is what ticks me off. And there's this event called the Great American Bull Run. I don't know if you all have ever seen or heard of it. I think it was just so stupid that they have this event, and then they're out there abusing the bulls and having bulls to chase down people, which I think and I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think in my opinion it sounds a bit silly if it's not my opinion.
Well, I'll give you an instance right now that I've seen today. This guy was walking down the interstate down here. I got to give him props for the pack, man. It looked really nice. It was like he's got to have everything he needs in there. Like me, I came out here. If I had to carry it, it'd probably taken me 4 trips. And between here and Vegas, that's a long way. So, anyways, this guy's walking down the interstate. He stops out here past this campground here and sits down. And he's got this dog, right? He's got a dog on a leash. Got a cape over it or whatever. Maybe he's thinking he'll block some of the heat off the sun, or I don't know, whatever. Make the dog look cool, something. I don't know. But look, and the people here were talking earlier when we discussed that. A lot of these people out here that are homeless, I'm not trying to, judge anybody, but there is this people walking around with dogs. I mean, they don't have no home, no prospect for the next meal. So what do you do with this? These people have these dogs out here, and I think personally that some people use them just for the factor of somebody's going to feel sorry for them and pick them up because they have this dog or pup, right?
Yeah.
We have a right to treat each other correctly, and that includes animals. And it's like, how do we raise pigs and chickens for consumption and these factory farms? We go into a whole other aspect of the way the world works. So, yeah.
Respect.
Some people may not agree with PETA, but you
No,
gotta
we're
get props
messing up
for
our
people.
animals
Well, respect and decency
and
for
our
all.
food.
Respect and decency.
All right, hold on, Becky. Go ahead.
We're messing up our animals and our food supply. You know, why are these everything? You know, if we do not eat, if I don't know what I'm eating, if I can't see it, I do not want it. And the animals, what they're doing to them. I'm in the middle. I'm in North Carolina, so you know we've got the hog factories, we've got the turkey plants, we got the chicken plants, and
it's also dumping toxins into it. It's killing
we are
all the
ruined,
fish.
man. The Koch brothers fought off our governor this year. They passed 3 bills. Nobody here in North Carolina can have 50% are not connected at all with any type of news, and it's really censored. They even censored a PBS program called Citizen Koch. I put out a petition. I didn't even know it. It just went wild through an email. It wasn't even on. I just got mad one night and I typed it up. And next thing I knew, I've been off grid for a while. I had to go. I moved from my farm in December, and I've been doing my own thing since then, selling out. I'm done.
Yeah, well, see, that's just like you know how like some people like go out deer hunting. Now, see, that right there is just like seriously sad to me that, you know, you got people hunting down deer, shooting them, killing them, and I mean, and the thing is, by people going around hunting and shooting and killing deers, I mean, like, what is the message that you're trying to get across, you know? I mean...
Let me share a story of just
wait a minute, hold on just a second. Hold on.
Is Jose?
No, this is Vince. Jose has not joined us yet. Let me interject on deer hunting. Okay, there's a lot of different ways that people will look at this. I'd like to defend the hunters at this point.
Me too.
Look, I will. I mean,
we got to eat.
I think the best way to live life that you know, as far as your diet goes, is to be a vegan. But also, we have to understand that the way of life that where we live, and we can hope to evolve past this, but people consume meat, and the way that really wildlife is preserved is because of the harvest of the deer. And I can tell you personally, because of where I live most of the time, where I'm not living right now, but in Arkansas, for instance, and you'll find the same everywhere else, is deer populations will, and this goes back to, well, their natural predators are gone. Okay. So we won't debate that right there, like the wolves and so forth, and human overpopulation or whatever. Okay. But the deer population will suffer without a harvest. A lot of people eat deer. There's some people that take trophies. They're racks. I totally disagree with that, but I will not tell somebody wrong that's a deer hunter.
Well, like I was trying to say before, there is something to be said for the reasonable conservation, which is a term I hear a lot. And the fact is that we have altered their natural landscape to a degree that, and also removed a lot of their natural predators so that we could create greater living space for ourselves. So the idea of hunters in a lot of cases, although it may be difficult to stomach for a lot of people, the fact is that a lot of them would die a much worse death by starving if their populations were not thinned out. And I understand that. And meanwhile, I'm not one of these vegan people at all. I'm an omnivore completely. And I know that in a lot of cases that's not the best way to be. I mean, I'm working on a lot of things, but I can only do so much myself at a time, you know. But there is something to be said for that. And there's also something to be said for simply respecting life in general. and because we decide to hunt or to eat or not to eat or whatever, we have the freedom to do that, and that's the important thing. But on top of that, if either way, whether you decide to only eat, the vegetation and you're a strict vegan or whatever, or you do act as a meat eater, it doesn't mean that in any way cruelty should be condoned at any rate. There are much more humane ways to handle this than are being handled, that are being had by a lot of the, how do we put it, the mechanized sort of slaughterhouse ways of handling meat and all that. And animal cruelty on other levels is also quite repugnant. I mean, whether you're talking about domesticated animals or wildlife, it's really irrelevant if you don't have respect.
Can I
for life
share
in
a
general.
story about humanity and what I woke up to as far as being fed and hurting animals and stuff? Because it really freaked me out when this happened. If
Well,
y'all
sure.
don't mind.
Not
Okay.
Yeah,
we do
yeah,
have.
hey, Becky.
Uh-huh.
Let me interject real quick. As far as the shout out to Walter on Saturdays, he's given a study and on the trivium method, and that's I touched on it a little earlier, and how we address language, basically. So
Cool.
waking up is a term that's used quite often, and that really needs to be addressed away from right now because we don't have enough time to talk about it and continue where we're going. But waking up is I think, an understanding or an awareness, a further awareness. So go ahead with that, Becky, and then hand it back to
All right, thank
Chuck,
you.
okay?
Thank you. Coming out of chemo, natural, homeopathic, I do quantum neurology, light therapy, and cranial work. I was sitting there one night, catching a buzz. I've been given a calf, and a bull had got loose across the woods from me. I was sitting in the middle of my 300-acre family farm. I inherited a piece of it, and they were given to me. I didn't have no help to get them rounded up, man. They walked through my yard every day, I was kind of spiritual with them. I was just like, how cool is this, And I tried to get help. Well, in the process, the whole community around me was trying to get these cows. One, in about a week, got shot and killed. I don't really know the whole story on it. I'm sitting there. The man who did own them, he had tried to ground them up, and they broke out on them. They kept coming in behind my uncle's house. He had goats, It's a neat old family, old neat southern plantation. They knocked on the door, Vince. This lady, like in a panic, she said, have you got shovels? I said, for what? She said, to harvest the meat off that bull. She said, we were tired of it charging our child. She said, we just put number 22 bullet holes in it. And I said, well, it ain't going to take that bull down. And you just slaughtered it on my land. And you're going to ask me for the tools to harvest the meat? It did not hurt your children.
I think,
Get off my property.
Look, wait. Think about it, though.
They went off in the woods and died, Vince. If somebody, if it would have been a humane thing, you put it down, you harvest the meat. That right there just showed me a different side to what, I don't know where it's at anywhere else, but I know where I'm at.
Look at it like this, okay? They have animal. Hold on, Becky. Look at it like this. They've got animal shelters and they euthanize these animals. Okay. Bob Barker used to say, spay and neuter. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. Wait, hold on. You gotta listen with me.
I'm gonna shut up.
All right. Listen, man, we gotta just respect life. Okay. Sometimes that means taking life. People are against euthanasia in humans, but they say, it's illegal for a person to kill himself. But what right does somebody say to another that you don't have the right to end your life? And when you look at suffering, if you was driving along and ran over a dog, and it's laying there and its guts squished out, sorry for being so graphic, but wouldn't you put that animal down? Okay.
I put him down in a minute.
When you look at Okay, but when you look at how life is, and this is part of this machine, this mechanical beast that I spoke of earlier. Well, we can't just stop. We can't, plug something in and stop the whole thing because it'll fall apart. We have to back out. But that's the only way, and that means, in the way we consume our diet. Okay, so hunting is one of the less problems, I think, because most of our food comes from, for most people, is from the industry. These animal meals and how they treat these animals. And that goes into how, back to the dog, okay? These puppy mills. Does a person have a right to have 100 dogs that is producing and they sell through the internet or newspaper ad or whatever? And these dogs are, that's inhumane. Does these animals have the right to our protection? I'd say yeah. And should people not mistreat animals? Yes. Should we not eat animals? Well, no, we really shouldn't. We don't need to. But can we, just stop how that is? No, because most people, we're into the consumption, and that's how life is sustained. I offer an alternative that life comes better from life than from death, and that reflects on the industry, the whole petrochemical industry. They extract this death from the earth and produce the energy from that, as opposed to extracting energy from the biomass around us, which would include the hemp, the sun, and going into diet. If we're consuming dead things, then we can expect furtherance of that death. If we're making, our living, our life is coming from life, then we could certainly expect a better result in the aspect of life. So, hey, let me let you hang on, Becky. Stay with us. I don't know if Jose's come in yet. I'm going to turn it back to Jose and let him further convey his ideas on where we're at and where we're going. And I'm muting up. To you, Chuck.
All right, take care, Vince. What's going on is Jose's waiting, so we're ready to go just about any time. But you guys, you all set there, Becky? Or do you want to say something else? I think.
No. I just like that just kind of tripped me out, with humanity and how hungry somebody would be that they would, knock a bull down and let it go off and live and die. It just I had to pull out of humanity for a while. I am on my own. I like it this way.
It's a good thing to be able to withdraw, to rethink, and I think it's a responsibility for each and every one of us to do that, to take a look at what we believe and how we believe it, why we believe it, and take a look at other people's view, of the world around us. And
thank you. Yes, for allowing me to...
I ain't calling nobody wrong. I promise you I ain't. Because what I think is right or wrong, I think there is some underlying where we can come together and say, look, this is right, this is wrong. There's no disputing any of it. So Jose's coming in, and he's going to talk about choosing. I think this is what we're going to talk about, choosing Mr. or Mrs. Right. So, I mean, basically how we live our lives right now. Most people are, choose a partner in life. How I like to say it is, the bottom line, I think it's a little earlier, is love, underlying, and that's how we should, experience each other in life. So, Jose has, his perspective about relationships, and I'll guarantee you I won't agree with everything he has to say tonight, but that don't matter. I bet you I will learn something from it, especially from what I might disagree with, because that's how we examine ourselves. And I think that's of the utmost importance. Let's examine ourselves. let's examine each other, perspectives. That's what makes life, you know. We need to focus where we can agree. Underlying, like I said, it is love, and that's respect for one another, for the world around us, for our fellow creatures. And look, man. Oh, before I leave, before I turn this over to Jose, look, I've talked to a few of y'all in chat. Some really good folks, man. I love you guys. You really make UCY. You guys are the ones that, and those that are listening too, and that will be listening, that will hear this possibly, man, take part in this world, do something that makes it better, and let's change the world, and we can do that. Let's be a part of what matters worldwide, and UCY. If I'm not back in, thanks again, Phyllis Sinclair. Thank you, Jaja. She is radioactive, like we are right here on UCY.TV. Make a difference in this world. And I will be listening. I'm hitting mute. Turn it back to Chuck, who will turn it over to Jose. Thank you. Jose, con permiso, carnal. Vosotros, buenos colegas, unos pocos veces no digo correcto, como digo en español. Okay? Hey, somos Americanos. We're Americans, man. We're the same. American, South, North, worldwide. We're crossing. We're at over 80 some odd countries, I think, right now that has the listenability to UCY.TV. Thank you, Jules, again. Everybody else. I meant to say howdy to so many people. Nathan Frazier. Oh, man, that's good. Live Free FM on Sundays. Also early, starting off the day. There's Charlene there. You rock. We got lots of people. Man, I mixed names up. I'm sorry. I was thinking Brandon Fraser, Brandon Turberville, Nathan. Sorry, man. Yeah, your last name's Fraser. Okay, I didn't mess up. This guy is. I got some heroes right here. Lots of great information. Look, if you're not familiar with UCY.TV, go to the homepage, check out the host. Everybody here has something very important to share with you. And okay, I'll keep rambling. Otherwise, right now I'm turning it over. Thanks, Becky. I appreciate you calling in. Love you, girl. Giving it back to Chuck O'Kelly.
I love you too, man. I'll check it out when you float back in.
Thanks, Jose. Welcome, brother. I'm out. I'm muting up. I'm listening.
All right. Well, I still haven't picked up Jose on the line yet because I was hoping that he was going to call in on the call-in line, but he didn't come up yet.
Okay. He's got a freaky deal. I don't know why I have problems with that, but that's no problem. We're here. We'll continue then. Look, I want to hand it back to you, Chuck. And
Jose, if you can,
let's go back.
One sec though, Jose. If you can hear us, just hit the call in line, and I'll transition it over with you that way. If you're having trouble the other way, okay? Because I can't quite tell what's going on. Just so you know. But go ahead, Vince. You were talking.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back where you left off. But let's transition a little bit. Let's shift into, and this is something that I have not covered. I've covered a lot of different aspects that I think that should be covered. That each and every one of us, American or worldwide, and I think Americans. Please don't think I'm insulting you. I don't think we're really examining what we should be examining. That a lot of people elsewise in the world are awake, Becky, as your words, and that's used a lot, and I can agree with that. Being aware or awake of the way things are going, and I think our world changed at 9/11. Looking at all the millions of people's lives have been lost. since that event. So, Chuck, let me just hand it to you. And this is something that you had a guest that was going to come on, I think, or possibly lined up a witness to events there. What's been told about the events of 9/11, this so-called terrorist attack? Yeah, it was a terrorist attack, and it was the worst perversity. Did I say that right? That's been perpetuated on the American people. But I think there's a lot of information that's not publicly known. So let me hand it to you past this now.
Well, in recent times, I tried to examine a lot of this stuff. Is that Jose?
No, it's me. My phone died. I had to call in again.
Ah, okay.
I'm just listening.
Sorry, I just grabbed it.
Hi, my phone died.
No problem. In recent times, 9/11 has been utilized as a weapon, basically. The entire scenario, the trauma-based programming that has been sort of poured on all of us through the major media, and even in the alternative media, we have found that people have utilized it to further an agenda. And that agenda, to me, seems to be one of control as opposed to information or defense or anything like that. And what I tried to do in recent times, the last show I did was with Richard Gage from Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, which, by the way, they're doing their tour and they're going around and lecturing people and showing people what the problems are from the perspective of individuals who make their living building those buildings and stuff like that. So I'm giving you one side of that particular die, if you will, as in dice, but one. And there's a lot of aspects to that story, and it's very hard to cover it very quickly over one time. I do have some witnesses that may come up, and I have a few other presentations. I'm actually in the midst of lining up another Architects and Engineers show for this Saturday, but I have a lot of things to say about this entire 9/11 situation, not just the events of that day, but how they've been utilized ever since and still. And, every time one of these occurrences that are sort of shock trauma based comes up in our sort of matrix of being and is utilized against us, there is a purpose for it. But the thing is that far beyond any of that, there's a whole lot of stuff that we're going to kind of examine piece by piece, and I'm trying to use some guests to do that. But believe me, I've got plenty to say. I mean, right now I'm based in New Jersey, but I'll be in North Carolina soon because I'm moving.
We're at North Carolina. That's where I'm at.
There you go. I'm going to be, just a little bit outside of Greenville. I'll be.
Okay,
So,
I'm down right at the coast.
Okay. Well, we'll
by
be
Holden's Beach.
we'll be close. Oh, Rehoboth Beach.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I know where that is. Kinda, sorta,
That's a cool spot up here. I'm set up right now. I'm all right where I'm at.
That's cool. Well, I'm resetting a lot of things in my life, so I'll be going down there.
Yeah.
A little town called Kinston, actually.
I know exactly where you're going at, man.
There you
Nice
go.
place.
And seems like a nice place, and I'm gonna give it a shot there because I'm pretty tired of New Jersey, which is where I'm sitting now.
And one thing about North Carolina, we're poor, humble people. Most of them, God's their thing, and that's what keeps them going. And you'll find good neighbors. You'll find something that's not out there in the rest of the world. A lot of people don't understand us, but you get stuck on the side of the road, somebody's gonna get you out there.
You see,
that's what matters right there, is how we treat each other. And sometimes people from the South are, poke fun at about their simplicity and so forth. But boil it down. Those are what most people in the world, I think, are that way. The people I've met out here so far, they reinforce my belief in humanity. But there are bad people in this world, whether you can define them as narcissists or whatever. They seem to gravitate to that point that they're controlling the rest of society, and this is what we're addressing, and this is what we need to change.
It seems like I see everybody in a fight mode. It's just like, since they've connected somewhere, and they're getting this information, instead of really dissecting the truth, because you're talking about 9/11. Well, it was so simple for me because I really got off on the one family, years ago that had a gal, that was setting up the demolitions with dynamite. I like to blow stuff up too. I'm from the South. And in the swamp, we blowed up stuff on 4th of July. And, you know how a building comes down when it's set up to come down. I watched it that day, and I'm like, we're kind of screwed because that did not happen that way. It couldn't happen. And from that point on, I knew it was a scam. And it's that simple. It is that simple.
It is.
And it is a mass. It is, I'm with somebody now who's never been connected to the outside world besides the TV, but he's very open to every view, and it's been very good for me to be able to, and he's very simple to explain the world to him. And, it's really, really cool. I'll go to church with him, and I'll be like, a whisper in his ear, and that'd be something like Hitler do, man. It's and that TV, is controlling. I call it different things, I make it real simple, like Brady Bunch syndrome, or, June Cleaver syndrome is how you're eating. They want you to eat like that.
No, I got you. And the next focus, because I just generally went over it with Gage this past Saturday, but I'm going to go back over it this Saturday, I think, because I really want to talk about Building 7, which wasn't struck by an airplane but fell anyway. And that's one of those things that was completely ignored, by, like, say, the 9/11 Commission and all that. And if you think about what was housed in that building, and what went on there, and exactly how that building came down. If you want to talk about an obvious sort of indication of exactly how much of a scam we're dealing with here, because scam is a really good word for it.
Yeah, we have been brainwashed and scammed. It's genocide. It really is.
See, but it's
Hey, let me stop and let's define what was in Building 7. There was naval intelligence who were investigating this aspects of what some people call the New World Order, but I would say is the Old World. Old
Navy
World
secret.
Order.
Navy,
Hold on, Becky. Stand with us, Becky. Hold on, stand by with us and listen to us. And I'm just gonna make a little definition. I'm gonna hand it back to Chuck, and let's let him add to or emphasize. So. What all besides, naval intelligence, there was these investigations of the banks that were bailed out, which is ludicrous. We're paying the Fox for watching the hen house. Chuck, go ahead and add.
Well, all that stuff, that's exactly the problem, is all the time you have the Fox investigating the hen house. If you examine a lot of this stuff in history, you find that, and history, I'm not talking about merely the stuff that happened, 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. The JFK assassination was 50 years ago at this point. We're past that anniversary now, thankfully, because that was like the circus came to town for me when I saw all that nonsense that went on in the mainstream. But I digress. The fact is that in that building there was all kinds of bodies that were involved with all kinds of things, and to me it seems like a huge destruction of evidence that was convenient to that day. And I'm not an expert on this either. I mean, I've examined it some, and it just is one of those things that I kind of want to examine with my audience and sort of go through this step by step and say, look, why is it that the building which contained the command center for stuff like this was knocked down? Why is it that the Secret Service, I believe the CIA had an office in there, all of these governmental agencies were all in that particular building, and that's the one that falls down in such a way that is almost as if it were a blueprint of what a purposely demolished building looks like. They say that this building fell from office fires. Well, doesn't that seem a little bit suspicious, And then if you move over to the Pentagon, you're looking at, the only part of the Pentagon that was actually hit contains what? The records from that huge amount of money that they say they couldn't account for. All of the records that they should have been looking into happened to be contained in that particular part of the Pentagon. Okay, and even with that, when you look at how this thing is supposed to have come down according to the official explanation and all that, then you look at the way the 9/11 Commission examined it. It's all about the Fox continuously investigating the hen house. Even to go back to the Kennedy assassination, as I said, who was on the Warren Commission? Well, our future president, who we all know how he became president, Gerald Ford, was on that commission. Who else was on that commission? A guy named Alan Dulles, which a lot of people who are outside of this stuff don't understand. Dulles was the head of the CIA under Kennedy until he fired him. Okay? So the head of the CIA is in charge of the commission which was assembled by presidential order to investigate the assassination of the president. Here's the thing. If anything had anything to do with the CIA, do you think it was going to get handled in there? And if you examine how actually the commission was conducted, because of all the Freedom of Information lawsuits and things that have followed, you find that even though it was called the Warren Commission because the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Earl Warren, was ostensibly in charge of it, well, guess what? Alan Dulles was practically the most active member of the Warren Commission. So it almost might as well have been called the Dulles Commission. And then if you examine his connections to just through his brother and through himself and the fact that he used the CIA as almost his own personal network of individuals to do a whole lot of damage to this country. Alan Dulles is one of those bad guys that we don't get to talk about very much. Although there is an airport called Dulles Airport. A lot of people don't think about that either. And again, if you look down the list of the individuals who were on the Warren Commission, you got McCloy, who was a big-time banker kind of guy as far as, the public eye goes. And like I said, Ford is the most interesting there. But Earl Warren was another one. And all of this stuff was it was the President's Commission in charge of investigating the assassination on John F. Kennedy. Well, who controlled that? Lyndon Johnson basically assembled the commission and picked these people based on suggestions from his guys who were involved in all kinds of interesting things. But when you break it down, that was another one of those sort of scams, except at that time we had a boogeyman like the Soviet Union to turn to. And that now that the Soviet Union is essentially no more as far as we're told, now we have a new boogeyman, and this boogeyman's even better than the old one, because now we don't have a target nation. We can sort of ascribe the target to other nations and, interject our military apparatus into their places under the guise of fighting an amorphous enemy, which is terrorism. And meanwhile, it is under the guise of defending our own country and under the guise of battling communism and all these things that our military has been utilized essentially as the largest terrorist organization in the world. And it's not because of the men who are actually out there following the orders. It's about the men who pull the strings above them. That's what they've been utilizing them for. And if that's not the most backwards, turned on its head thing that you have ever heard in your life, I don't know what else to throw at you.
We have been brainwashed.
You're exactly right. And you know what?
Hey, y'all, this phone's dying, Vince. I've enjoyed it. Phone's gone. I'll check you out later, man. I'll listen to the rest of it on my phone. Love you, man.
Love you, Becky. Thank you. Yeah, I love you. I love your input.
Keep me real.
Thanks,
Audio. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chuck. This underlining aspect that has, whether it be called infiltrated or a coup d'etat, the fact is that there is this evil element that has taken control of what is America, and they've sold this propaganda that to I mean, hook, line, and sinker. Let's go kill these people because we're told that they're terrorists. I mean, it's a whole lie, and it goes back way beyond 9/11. That right there was like the oh man, the catalyst right there for where we are today, where we are subjects under surveillance from any of your personal information, and this goes into every aspect of what this supposed socialist utopia is saying that will save humanity. We need to protect you.
Right, and 9/11.
Go, Chuck.
9/11 was essentially the actual shock and awe on us. Okay, remember that phrase, shock and awe. They utilized it in order to not put this stuff into place, because the truth of that is this stuff was in place long before that. Okay, but it gave them the justification, the green light to move it forward and to do it out in the open. Nowadays, they tell you, look, of course we're watching everything you're doing. Of course we're listening to, and we're analyzing all your signals, and we're collecting this information. But we need greater intelligence, because remember, that was the big lie also sold to us about it was, well, it was due to communication and intelligence failures that these guys with box cutters were able to do this. Okay, that is why they were able to get it by. So you know what? We need the justification to be able to really kick that surveillance state into, into like serious operational mode and do it out in the open. Now, not only are we getting you to do this unknowingly, but we're going to get you to ask for it. And based on that alone, yeah, that was the event for then. But that was only because, again, people were being complacent and just in general. But then some of us were starting to get to understand that this grid was being put into place. And we really, as individuals that were involved in trying to write about the way that this stuff was turned against us, that was supposed to be working for us, we undersold exactly how insidious and how absolutely, I love the word, ubiquitous the entire thing was. And it started long before that. It started before the Kennedy assassination. This was like an infiltration, I like that word, an infiltration of something other than what it was we were promised. And what I mean by what we were promised is this. When you were a child and you were growing up and they started telling you about how this is the greatest country in the world, they started to tell you why. And they started to say, you're free here. You can do as you please here, so long basically as you follow some rules, which generally just involved not hurting others, not invading the space of others, not doing harm. If you were able to do such a thing, then you had freedom here. They told us that, and they told our parents that. By the time they started selling us this dream, because it is actually a dream, because it has nothing to do with the reality, by the time they started telling us that, it had already been watered down from what they told our parents and from what they told our grandparents. It was the promise of the societal idea, the ideal, in fact, that America was supposed to be. And when they took it, they've been taking it piece by piece and real quietly. But once 9/11 happened, they said, well, what do you want us to do if you want us to maintain this thing that you've been promised? Well, here it is. How are we going to do it? We're going to infiltrate everything. And if you have nothing, and I hear this statement all the time and it makes me want to throw up, if you're not doing something wrong, then you have nothing to fear. Really? That's the reality of it? It's like people say, well, 1984 is coming. 1984 is coming. Brave New World is coming. My friends, it is already here. And
I gotta just say what you're saying and say it like this. Baby, it's here already, right? Mm-hmm. It's come. Can you not see it? It's all predictive programming. It's reinforced in our daily life. So what we see in the media, what we see in the movies, it tells us a story that we live or can expect to live in. Some people would say, this is crazy, man. This is sci-fi, man. This is some Terminator, whatever, Running Man. Look, it's very close. Don't discredit what seems
crazy because crazy may be sane.
Yeah.
Man, it's a terrible world we're looking at, you know? Like you're saying, Chuck.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have this fear that, two things. One, that, first of all, I feel almost like I got to apologize to some of the people that I thought were way out of their minds when I was younger. And you know what? I'm almost at the level of give me a tinfoil hat, because the radio transmissions from the CIA, the big joke that they used to pull on us all the time about the radio transmissions from the CIA are getting into my brain, well, they're not too far off. Okay, first of all, so I first want to apologize to any of the tinfoil hat guys I ever offended as a child, primarily. Next thing is, the other problem here is that it's not just what they sold us as far as the media goes, but what we've allowed to go on. All right. And no matter what we do, okay, it is at least time to understand the system around us. Okay. Because until you can actually comprehend that your hands are cuffed, how are you ever going to break out of them? How are you ever going to break out of the shackles? That's the thing that I'm after on a lot of levels here. And that's why I'm listening to a lot of what everybody says now and trying to take it a different direction, And the evolution of the technology is way ahead of what it is you can even dream of. The evolution...
It's freaking scary, man.
Yeah.
It is really scary. It is. And
I'm deathly afraid for my children.
TV shows
is what it is.
Go ahead.
I'm deathly afraid for my children because as they start to grow in this world, their idea of normal is already based on this nonsense that I've watched evolve. So they're starting.
It's spoon-fed, right? Let me jump in just for a second, Chuck. It is. It's spoon-fed, and for the ultimate question that old man, 70, 80-year-old, I didn't ask his age, but he was aged. Look, he said, why can't I enjoy, what I've earned? Look, that's, I almost cussed. That's freaking selfish, dude. You've got to consider those that you leave behind. We got to make this world a better place, and we've got to examine the way it is, this world. Put aside your philosophical, your political, your religious views. Put that shit aside, man, because it's bullshit. I'm sorry to cuss, but like I say, sometimes to alliterate if I'm saying this right, to be alliterative, you have to use some expertise, okay?
Sometimes illustrations require profanity. That's all.
Yeah. Look, before I run out of time, and I'm going to turn it back to you, Chuck. You're fantastic, man. I am so proud of you. I really look forward to what you are saying, what I'm trying to say, and I'm not proposing that I'm some great orator. No, I can hardly speak. But look, I have some ideas, and I want to share that, and that's what I'm doing here on UCY.TV. Thank you, Jules, again. You're wonderful. So many of us love you, and we worship you, and don't take that out of perspective. But look, man, if it wasn't for Jules, there would be no UCY.TV. And the .TV is also translated into radio, how you're listening now, downstream. So look, let's pull together, okay? Big shout out to some others. Oh, we're going to miss you. Justin, come back. Jimmy, Boiler Room. Man, this guy, look, man, he has gone through a transgression. His information is, I think, very impertinent. But everybody else. Thanks, guys. I'm glad to be here. I wish I'd have took notes. I'd have something else to say right now. Oh, stay tuned. Don't forget. Look, this is the whole point of the deal. Double Cross Radio from the Republic, the Jefferson Republic is coming up. Follow me. I don't have the information about what they're going to be talking about tonight, but as always, awesome. Drew, David, Chuck, y'all rock. Look, hey, come on. Come back to the homepage on UCY.tv. You can find everybody there and look on it. Facebook, man, we got a bunch of people, over 30 people right here, right now, giving a perspective about the world. And before I run out, I'm gone. Thank you, Jaja. Thank you, Philip Sinclair. And thank you from this soon-to-be coming Transylvania. Yes, I have a fella. He's come in. He rescued me. We're going to do a new intro. Wait, that kind of changed into Italian from Transylvania. Anyways, here we are, and I leave right now. Thanks a whole bunch, Chuck. You're awesome. Becky, I love you. Jose, que pasa? Oh, I was going to cuss in Spanish, but no, I'm going to quit. I love you, brother. Mi carnal. We miss you tonight. Hey, look, I'm going to be back on the internet. I'm going to catch up socially, after this rainstorm comes, and it's coming up. Supposedly that I will be back. Got pictures, I got video on YouTube. Walk out, big love, and I'm going. Leaving it off to Chuck. Bye, babes. I'm going.
All right, take care, Vince. So that's Vince from out in the wilderness, and I hope it wasn't too chaotic. And I'm sorry, Jose. I don't know why we couldn't pick you up there, but I tried. It's okay. We just carried it for a little while longer. Hopefully you'll be back next week. My show, by the way, is the Ocelli Effect, which is on Saturdays here on UCY at 8 p.m. I am discussing currently maybe expanding that a little bit, but we'll see what happens because I got a lot of things in life going on right now myself. Like I said, I'm moving to North Carolina, trying to connect myself to something else. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed all this. We covered a lot of ground here between the animal rights and food and perspective in general in the world, and smoking a joint out by the campfire, and the JFK assassination, and 9/11, and predictive programming.
Yeah, we smoking doobies, baby.
And you gotta love it. So, of course, thank you so much to Jules for bringing me on board and for bringing all of us together. Because I'm telling you right now, if we don't all learn to live together a lot more, we are certainly going to die together a lot more. And that's what it's all about. So whether you agree with me, disagree with me, just keep breathing, my friends, because that is the only way that we even have a chance at winning any battle. If you don't survive first, you will not thrive. So I guess Double Cross Radio is coming up next. I don't know what they're talking about either, but I hope that you guys stay tuned. And as always, stay on the chat. Sorry, I lost track of the chat quite a while ago. And, geez, I don't even know what Vince's outro music sounds like.
I'm here. I'm here. This is Jaja rocking us out. Radioactive. Thanks to everybody in chat. You know what I'm talking about. Mike, I didn't mention you. You are one of the toughest men. I love you, brother. You got a lot of good information. Hecty. All the Hecties, there's several of them. You're here. We love you. Here comes Jaja. We're radioactive. And stay tuned. Here comes Double Crossed, and that is the state of Jefferson, now known as the Republic of Jefferson. Love and peace, y'all. Bye, love you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Take care, and thanks to everybody for listening, calling, and all of it. Bye-bye now.
The USA is crumbling. Y'all sit back and dumb as shit. The mass invasion, the home invasions, the CPS is coming to snatch your babies. These confiscations, the conversations, they're operating within the zones we're trading. We're in the matrix, now we're totally raided. They infiltrated, finally the devil gave in. If you can't hear me, then pump up the volume. McDonald, Bin Laden, Osama, Obama, bring up something real, legalize marijuana. Everything on a bong hit is as blunt as banana. Radioactive, intergalactic, counterattacking, the main attraction, make it